We're going to start with Diana Tripac on why community engagement is vital and how it can impact the business in a moment. A friendly reminder, hey Diana, just consider everyone to stand every so often, hydrate, stretch during breaks. I just have to, I'm just mommying lightly, but sometimes it's easy to forget to take care of yourself, even when we're in a virtual summit. So with that, hi Diana, give me a moment to introduce you. We're kicking this day off, and please in the chat, if you can, which I could see, give a glorious welcome to Diana Tripac, who leads the community at Intercom, as well as participates as an advisory board member at Bubbles, is a co-author, and is a community MBA holder. Following a full community relaunch, at Intercom, she was able to double membership, user engagement, and then some. Prior to Intercom, she acted as VP of Membership and Area Director and Club Coach at Toastmasters International. You got to let me know how I'm doing after this, as well as the membership lead at the Open Data Institute. Currently, her main focus and passion is to leverage community as a powerful tool to help businesses grow and succeed. With the talk sponsored by Disco, Diana's here to share, again, why community engagement is vital, how it impacts business. And Diana, giving it off to you.
Hi, Victoria. Thanks so much. So hello, everyone. My name is Diana, and can you see the slides? Victoria, can you please? Yes, yeah, we can see the slides now. So, one more time, hi everyone, my name is Diana, and today we're going to speak about why community engagement is important, because it's important, right? And how community can impact the business. In other words, we're going to talk about community value, community engagement, and community strategy, do's and don'ts. Super important topics, right? Okay, let's speak about community value first. Why community is needed, how it can make a difference to the business. Is community an asset, a superpower for the business, or rather a liability? We'll see. But before we begin, I'd like to get to know my audience. Who am I talking to? And so, first thing first, let's see how many of you run, manage, or lead the community. If that's about you, please give a thumbs up or type yes in chat. So, thumbs up if you manage a community, if you lead or run a community. Do we get a thumbs up? Cool. Victoria, just in case, I know there is a delay here, so I'd like you to help me to see what's going on on the stage in real time. So another question here for you. Is there anyone planning to launch a community by any chance? If that's about you, give a thumbs up as well. Then I'll get back to chat and I'll check all of this, or type a yes in chat. And what about community enthusiasts? Are there any community enthusiasts here? If that's about you, give a thumbs up or type a yes in chat. Cool. Now, I'd like you to answer a very, very simple question. Why do you have a community? In other words, what's your top community's objective or objectives? Type in chat your brief answer. There is no right or wrong answer here. Whatever your answer is, just type it. So what's your top community's objective or objectives? Is it about having community helping the business with support, of acquisition, of retention, with success, whatever? Have your answers ready, please? Then I'll get back and check on them. Cool. And now let's have a look at some very interesting data here. According to the CMX Community Report for 2023, based on almost 500 participants and community professionals, the top community objectives are customer acquisition and customer success, followed closely by support. Now, if you look at the previous 2 years, we see that the focus fell mainly on support. So it's interesting now to see this kind of shift happening here, going on this transition from support onto acquisition and success. Cool. We had a look at the numbers. Now, Let's have a deep dive into community value. Now, first thing I think about when I say community value, that's the one. The ultimate goal of every community should be helping the business grow and succeed. How? Well, especially when we speak about B2B, SaaS companies environment, most of the times we refer at these four pillars. So community can help with self-serve support, customer success, product and development, and customer growth. Now that answers the how. Answering the how is important. However, knowing the why, it's even more important. Why? Because that opens us the door to find out the key differentiators. What makes the community so special, so unique? What community can bring to the table that other business areas can't? So let's look into it. First up here, we have self-serve support. Now we know when it comes to self-serve support, the main tools we have here are super powerful AI, help center tools. In fact, most of the times, these are the, like I said, the top tools for self-serve support and proactive support. Now, community should not be neglected here. Why? Because it has something unique to offer. What is that? Let's look. So first of all, we're speaking about peer-to-peer support, where users and customers help each other, offer support, tips, tricks, workarounds, answer forum questions. Next, community is all about unfixed, unconstrained amounts of information. Another one, super important. Community is all about practical solutions and workarounds. Yes, we have these tools, AI, help center tools, they're super powerful, but that's all about theory, right? Whereas community is all about practical solutions. And we know that sometimes the customers are the ones who know best the product. They know best tips, best tricks, and workarounds. Cool. And the last one here, we have access to expert users. So that is what makes community unique in that regard. Next up, we have customer success. Now, before we answer the why, let's look at the how, because community success is the broad spectrum element and customer success, and community can help with many areas. Namely, we talk about customer satisfaction, customer retention and lower churn. We talk about high product adoption and activation community can help with, and better new customer onboarding. Now, why do you need community to help with here? What makes community so unique here? Well, first thing, community in that regard is all about customer success at scale. And is especially relevant when the business is targeting small to medium-sized companies who benefit from standard support only. Next up, we have here peer-to-peer support and education and access to expert users. In other words, if you look from this perspective, what we have here, we have customer success at scale driven by community, by its users, by its customers. So if you know how to correctly untap this potential, that's a game changer. That's a mind-blowing experience. Cool. Next, what we have here, product development. Here we talk about ongoing product feedback at scale, share product wish lists, product requests, upvoting product requests. Next is customer satisfaction increase that comes next, and then we have beta access and product feedback at scale. And that's about product development. And the last but not the least, we have customer growth. Well, customer growth is the pinnacle of the community value, what community can help the business with, right? And here we speak about increased advocacy, pre-sales at scale, peer-to-peer driven, and trust and credibility. Now, how powerful the word of a mouth is, right? Why? Because it has this key element in it, and that is trust. And when this is done at scale, it's driven by community, its customers, and it comes naturally. That's a superpower. Cool. That was all about community value. So to recap, We talked about three main things here. Number one, helping business grow and succeed is the ultimate goal of community. Number two, customer success and growth is the current main focus amongst communities. And number three, community is a superpower. Answering the how, but most importantly, why, is crucial. Great. Now let's go next. Let's move on to community engagement. Now, community engagement is not the ultimate goal of community. However, community engagement is crucial. In fact, that's the basis, that's the foundation of every successful community. Why? Let's say, for example, the business is interested in great advocacy. What's needed for that? Community and customer engagement, of course. Or let's say, for example, business is interested in having peer-to-peer resolution increase. Of course, that's cool, having customers answering forum questions. Again, what's needed for that? It's all down to community engagement. Or let's say community-led events, product feedback at scale, super cool, pre-sale support at scale, or access to expert users. All these community can offer. And all these depends on what? Community engagement first. Of course, in other words, whatever community can help the business with, and here we talk about customer support, success, or growth, all of this is down to community engagement. So community engagement is the foundation here, is the key element. Now, if community engagement is so important, then the reasonable question would be here, okay, then if it's so important, let's just increase this engagement and get high activity, more active members, and that will make it. But no, it's not that easy as it sounds, because let's look at these data here. Community engagement proves to be number one issue. In fact, if you look at this, then difficulty to consistently engage members is the number one top frustration amongst community managers. So yeah, community engagement is the issue. Even though it's important, yeah, it proves to be quite an issue here according to this data we see here. And the last but not the least, once we touched upon this subject, community engagement, let's look at some ways how to increase it. I'll share some tips from my experience, but before I do that, one thing I want to mention is when we look at their community engagement, usually we look at two things. The first one is engaging all the members in community. And the second one is placing a specific, a separate focus on engaging the top super users, the top experts, most important users. Why? Because that's the superpower of your community. Now, if there is one single tip I could share with you on how to increase engagement, I would say that is focus on membership value. Membership value is so important, and not only whatever value, but the real value, and ideally the value that members really want or seek. That's why service and one-to-one feedback is so important. It's as simple as that. There is no value, no engagement. No engagement, no community success. Let's say, for example, you got this huge campaign running up, you have a compelling message, you want users to sign up to become members, and then you look at the data and you see membership increase going up, but then you look at the engagement, not that good, it's still low. So that can be an indicator that you need to pay more attention to offering more or higher value to your community. Okay, next up, expert or ambassador program. Ambassador program, having one in place, that's the key to engaging your top experts, your super users, because like I said, that's the superpower of your community. Next, engagement campaigns. I love engagement campaigns. Why? Because most of the times, if not all the times, they work, they bring results, even though maybe not the results you'd expect, but there are still results, so it works great. Events, cool service we discussed. Relationship building, that's another one. The relationship building, it's all about community, and we know that that is what makes community so special, right? Encouraging participation, yeah, that works well as well. And the last two that go kind of hand in hand, having a right community platform with right platform functionality is a super important one. And 2 years ago, I would never think that could be the case. But now I can confirm having a wrong platform can actually kill your community engagement. So that's super important. Cool. And the last but not the least here, community strategy, do's and don'ts. Oh, I love that. And we could talk about this for hours, but because of a time limitation we have, um, I will focus on the main elements here. So let's start with community strategy do's. What to do if we want a successful community strategy. First thing first, we need to know exactly what's the value that community brings to the business. Next one, as important, is we need to know exactly what's the value community will bring to the users. In other words, I firmly believe that the key to a successful community strategy is finding this perfect balance between the value for business and value for users you bring. In other words, you can't get without giving anything in return, isn't it? It doesn't work that way. So if you want to get, you need to give in return. Next one, also super important, service one-to-one feedback. That's on the bottom of a list, but why it's involved? Because I believe that's in fact the foundation of a successful strategy. Why? Because this is the key. This gives us the answer. What is that users really want? What kind of value users want? And then what you know what they want, you give them this value. And it works. Next up, engagement program and strategy. Yeah, I think that's self-explanatory. We need a strategy that we can follow, and then we're going to have great results. Community value, communicate value in numbers. Another one, super important. So when we speak to internal key stakeholders on the power of community, we've got to talk numbers. That's the main language that's understood. So yeah, we need to talk in numbers. Next, and the last on this list here is cross-functional collaboration. Oh, yes, we community leaders know how powerful community is, right? And unfortunately, most of the times in companies nowadays, the focus still falls mainly onto sales, onto marketing, onto products. So community is kind of in the shadow a little bit. That's why we community professionals should advocate for communities, should collaborate closely cross-functionally in order to get this buy-in from the key internal stakeholders. Cool. That was all about the do's. And before we look at the flip side, what we have for don'ts in terms of a successful community strategy, I want to ask you quickly a super simple question. I'm so curious to find what's your view on that. So the question is, why do you think communities fail? Please type your answer in chat, then I'll make sure to get back and read your answers. So why communities fail? Why do you think? Was the number one or main reasons why communities fail? Super curious and excited to find your answers on that. And now let's look, in the meantime, let's look until you type your answers. Let's look at the don'ts, and here you'll find out my answer on that as well. So what not to do if you want a successful community strategy. Now, to make sure we don't run out of time, I'll go quickly through this list. First up here, we have single focus on operational metrics. Yes, operational metrics, when we speak about operational metrics, we refer to new monthly members, membership increase, member engagement. Yes, that's super important to know. However, these are not the key metrics that directly translate into how valuable community is when we communicate these numbers to the key internal stakeholders. And that goes hand in hand with the last one on the list here, no strong KPIs to effectively communicate community value for the business. Next up here, no defined community business value or the value that doesn't align with the business goals. Yeah, I think that's self-explanatory. Now the third one here, most important. So that's my answer to, that's my one of the top reasons why I think community fails or engagement fails, because that goes hand in hand. So there is no value for users, or there is not enough value for users, or there is no right value for users. And the problem here is most of the companies, they're very eager. They want to get value from communities, but they don't quite want to offer value in return. So, yeah, that's the hard truth that sometimes we can see. So no value for users. Next, engagement, and that's the last one. Engagement program doesn't align with the user's desired benefits. So yes, even though you have an engagement program, but it doesn't align with what kind of benefits users want to see, then it's gonna fail. That's why surveys and one-to-one feedback, it's so important, so crucial. Cool. That's all from me. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I'm not sure if you ran out of time, please, Victoria, let me know. Just in case, if that's the case and we run out of time, I'll make sure to get back to chat and answer the questions there. So thank you. That was all from me.
Hey, Diana, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Fabulous. We did have a lot of comments people were sharing when you asked what are the engagements that aren't typically working. Lack of a proper onboarding process, lack of clear strategy for discussions, not enough intentionality, values aren't aligned, communities beginning with sales in mind at
Oh,
first,
yeah.
a lack of moderation. So yeah, we do have a few more minutes, and I'm wondering, there was a question, without a value for members, is the community even worth it? Is it even any good? What is good? I guess that opens another can of worms.
Yes, for sure. Oh, the answer would be very long here, but the short answer is, I think, highly unlikely, or the results would be not very satisfactory. Like not we can't see great results if there is no value for members. And I saw this over and over again from my experience. It's always like you can get the right community manager, the most passionate one that works day and night, has the burnout, doesn't matter, just does everything to make this community work and prove that community is in fact the power of a business, can help massively the business grow and succeed. But then there is this problem here that business is the value, but then users want value as well. And then you're like in the between. You are this bridge that needs to find this perfect balance. That's why I constantly talk about over and over again, finding the perfect balance is crucial. So it's not about just getting something, it's about giving a return. That's crucial. There need to be value for members. And also from my experience, I can tell that's why I put so much emphasis during the presentation on not just whatever value that we community professionals believe is going to work. No, it's about the value that users want. There was actually one more point there that I wanted to mention in terms of add-ons, that this misconception that one size fits all strategy, it doesn't work like that. Different strategies work for different companies, different businesses. So it is the same with pleasing and bringing value to the users. It's not like we believe swag will work, we believe product benefits will work. No, you've got to have this one-to-one connection of users and find out the truth. Yeah, I think I I talked a lot about this. I don't know if you have any time left, but if not, I'll make sure to get back to chats and
We
write.
do. We have 2 more minutes, and I'd love to ask you one more question from the audience, which is, how do you literally, Diana, go about defining the community's value? Like, do you have your own particular process that works for you?
Yeah, so I think the first answer here is my passion, and the second one is my strong desire to to get things working, to have this cross-functional collaboration, to discuss the power of community, to analyze things is passion and desire. For us, interestingly, that for us at Intercom, it works So it was so interesting. When I just joined 2 years ago, the main focus of the community was also helping of self-serve support. And now we had this shift also is exactly the same what data shows. So our focus now falls more into around the customer success, retention, better onboarding, better activation, and then we speak about after we do these, then we're going to focus on customer expansion as well. There are lots of strategies here. We could go one on one about that, but yeah, if the short answer I would think is just you you need to be super passionate about this because this is what drives you to get the results.
Absolutely. Well, with that, I can't thank you enough, Diana, for setting us off on this second day. You actually have quite a few questions now in the chat. So if you can get over there and answer those, that would be great. Super grateful for your time and energy and what you shared. And I look forward to seeing you through the rest of the day.
Oh, cool. Thanks so much for having me. Thank you,
Absolutely.
everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.